The town of Dronfield lies midway between Sheffield and Chesterfield, and only 3 miles from the Peak District. I'm starting my tour of the town at St John the Baptist's Church.
Good morning. It's Saturday the 4th of March 2023 and I'm starting today's walk in Dronfield, which I've always thought was a very pretty little town. I know in the earliest years of living in Derbyshire I used to come to Dronfield quite a lot. I shall say no more. But church is open and fortunately there seems to be some kind of event going on, so I won't go in and disturb what's happening in there. It seems to be like a coffee morning or something, but I could go in, but I won't go in and try and film whilst all that's happening. I am determined to get inside the church soon though. So I should just carry on walking through the centre of Dronfield and then I'll start my walk for today.
The parish church of St John the Baptist dates from the late 13th to 14th century, with mid-16th century alterations. The Green Dragon pub was once the hall of the Chantry priests and the headquarters of the Guild of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Used to come into the Green Dragon and have drinks here when I came to Dronfield. Yeah, it was a nice pub from what I can remember. Must be nearly 20 years since I've been inside though. And the Blue Stoops was another pub I came into. I think I only came in here 2 or 3 times though, but another nice pub from what I can remember.
Walking up the High Street, just past the Blue Stoops, I came to one of Dronfield's most famous landmarks.
And this is the Peel Monument.
The Peel Monument was built in 1854 as a tribute to Robert Peel and commemorates his repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846. Beyond the monument is a small manor house built around 1700 for Ralph Burton, Lord of the Manor. It was eventually sold in the 1930s to the local authority and converted into a library in 1967. Next to this stands the War Memorial.
Okay, I'm just looping back to where I parked my car now and then I'll start my walk.
From the town centre, I walk southwards through residential areas to eventually follow Hilltop Road between a golf course. At a footpath sign, I bore right to walk along a bridleway.
Well, I'm slowly making my way southwards now. Today's walk comes to about just under 7 miles, I think it is. Plotted it myself again, so we'll see. I think today it's not too cold actually. I thought it was going to be colder than it is, but I think after today it's going to get chillier and we're going to get this sort of cold front coming across the country as of tomorrow, I think. So I think today is going to be the last day of the milder days, and I think in all fairness we've been very lucky for the sort of like the start of 2023. I mean, January and February overall both months have been milder than is sort of usual for that time of year. There you go. We shall see. But yeah, I think today's going to be quite a nice day. I think it's supposed to be quite sort of cloudy for most of the day. That's fine, so as long as it stays dry. But yeah, it's still going to be mild. I think it all changes as of tomorrow.
The bridleway entered woodland beyond the golf course, where I reached a junction of paths.
A decision. Junction of paths. Now, I think that way or that way, either of them will do me, because I think they both go to the same place, so I'll go down that way, following the waymark for Dronfield 2000 Rotary Walk. Off we go then. Can hear traffic, a lot of traffic. Of course, in a lot of my recent walks, they've been sort of in the areas around the M1 motorway, and as lovely as those walks were, all you could hear was the noise of the M1. And I can hear noise now from traffic, because I know now that I'm not going to be seeing the M1 today or anytime soon, but I'm heading for another busy section of road. Not as busy as the M1, but hopefully the noise of this road won't last for the whole walk.
Having crossed the busy A61 Dronfield bypass, my path led to Monkwood Farm, where I joined Furnace Lane. Now heading in a more southwesterly direction, I was in open country by this time. Furnace Lane ended on the B6051 in the village of Barlow. I walked along the road as far as the Peacock, a very popular country pub in the village.
Right, so I'm in Barlow now then. Nice to stop and have a pint at the Peacock, but I'm not going to. But I am going to try and get inside the church if I can.
Barlow is well known for its well dressings, which are unusual not only for their size, but also for the way they are dressed. Villages out in the Peak District use flower petals to dress their wells, but in Barlow they use whole flower heads. My next stop was St Lawrence Church, which dates back to 1150.
What do we reckon? Do you reckon I'm going to get inside this church? Only one way to find out. No. Oh, I don't know. Ironic, isn't it? I could have gone inside Dronfield Church this morning, but I didn't want to because there was something going on in there. And I would have liked to have gone inside this church today as it appeared quiet, but like all the churches I've visited recently, it's locked. Hey.
Continuing from the churchyard, I took a footpath which climbed up gradually through open fields. At a junction, I turned right to head north.
Well, I feel suitably refreshed now after my sandwich. Enjoyed that. Just a quick stop, I didn't stay long to eat my lunch. But yeah, I think now I'm getting the best views on today's walk. A bit more open now. I'm just sort of walking parallel with the road that goes through Barlow. I'll be rejoining it in a minute, but at the moment I have definitely got some of the best views of today's walk. Yeah. This is a really pretty part of North East Derbyshire. Yeah. And just over there, can't quite see it at the moment, is the Peak District. Yeah, we're not far from the Peak District today, but we don't go into it at all on today's route, but we are very close to it.
The path soon rejoined the B6051, but I was only walking as far as Keeper's Lane, where I would be turning off again.
What a great name for a pub, the Tickled Trout. Passed that many times and never been in, so I must go in sometime. That's not a name you're going to forget, is it? Right, so I think I'll head down here now. I'll leave Barlow and I head across country to slowly make my way back towards Dronfield.
At Keeper's Lane, I immediately went left at a footpath sign to drop down to cross a field next to some houses.
Okay, some anglers around. So it looks like I might need to ring the bell, just so I don't get caught by their tackle. Right, so even though I think they've probably seen me, I'm going to ring the bell. Oh well, I made it safely across without getting caught up in their tackle. That's a good idea though, having a bell to warn the anglers that people are walking on the footpath. Never come across anything like that before. Oh well.
I had a short, sharp climb from the ponds, but it soon levelled out as I reached a field at the top.
Yep.
I had more open views as I headed along the edge of the fields towards Barlow Lees Lane. Emerging onto the lane, I continued along the footpath opposite.
Looks like an old well. Goes down quite a way by the look of it. Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to be drinking from that well now, though. It looks like it's not been used for quite some time. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Hugh Sleggs. Hi Hugh, hope you're keeping well. Hugh contacted me on my channel quite some while ago, and he asked me about my musical compositions, if I could tell him a bit more about that. But Hugh thinks I have a particular style. Well, you're right there, Hugh, definitely. I think, I can't say if I'm influenced by anybody. I mean, I know that my favourite band has always been Pink Floyd, and I love the Stranglers and I love AC/DC, but I don't know whether my music is influenced by any of those particular bands. I just know what I like, and I just end up messing around on the keyboard and just try to come up with something. Because one thing I will say is, I mean, bearing in mind how many films I make now, it's very, very difficult to come up with a new piece of music for every film. And I do tend to use most of the same sort of sounds from my keyboard because I know what I like. And I do try to experiment with new sounds, but quite often I end up going back to the same sounds because I know that they work for me. But yeah, it is very difficult to come up with new music for every film I make. Hugh was also asking if I had any training, or did I just practice over time? Well, both really. When I was very small, I was given one of these like toy chord organs for Christmas, and I loved messing around on that over the years. And then eventually when I was 13, my mum got me a proper organ. It was like a theatre type organ, because she knew that I enjoyed playing on the organ, even though it was a toy, but she wanted me to play properly. And yeah, so I went for lessons. I went for lessons for a few years, and then I went to one particular teacher for a while who was just brilliant. He made me sound like a professional without sort of wanting to blow my own trumpet it, but he used to play for a local radio station, so he had his own programme, and he actually sort of taught me how to interpret music. So rather than just playing as you read music from sheet music, he taught me to actually improvise and interpret the music. So rather than just playing as it looked, you would just sort of express it, you know, play it expressively, and just, it was just a wonderful way of learning to play the organ. I was buying sheet music all the time. I loved buying sheet music for the organ and just played loads of music from different books. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But amongst all that time, I still composed my own tunes too. But just sort of like in more recent years, I've focused more on just my own music. So it is all training and practice over time. So thanks for asking, Hugh.
The path finally led me to the lovely, tranquil village of Cowley. It consists of a few private houses and functioning farms strung out along Cowley Lane. Until 2001, an annual well dressing was held in the grounds of Cowley Mission, a small chapel founded in 1888 and still active today.
I'm not sure if I've ever been to Cowley before. May have done, but if I have, it's probably only ever once in my life. I don't remember, to be honest with you. Yeah, what a lovely, cute little settlement. Yeah. Oh well, just a final stretch back to Dronfield now then.
Moving on from Cowley, I continued following paths across the fields for about another 3/4 of a mile. I found myself approaching Dronfield again, as I reached the edge of residential areas above Gosforth Valley.
Not much further to go now then, as I'm back on the edge of Dronfield. I'm just dropping into a really pleasant valley now, but I am very close to Dronfield town centre. So, yeah, lovely. Another fantastic walk then. So, yeah, perhaps it's been extra special because this walk is one I've not done before. So as I said before, you know, when you make films of places, it makes me go to places that I wouldn't normally walk. So, yeah, lovely. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath because this is the third take of this particular shot, so I've gone back up the hill and redone this shot another 2 times, so hopefully this is the last take. But yeah, I'm just sort of getting back into the town centre now, not far from my car, and it'll be about a half hour's drive home. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.